Hello everyone, I hope you are doing fine and shine. In today's video, I am going to talk about the Eagle Act of 2022 and my opinion on what's going to happen next. So, we all know that green card dates are not moving for India or China, and they're actually not even current for rest of the world now. So as we know, there has been tremendous backlog of green cards for employment, EB1, EB2 and EB3. And we also know that since the rest of the world demand is much higher than usual, EB2 dates, EB3 dates for India have been really retrograded, and they're definitely not going to move forward unless there is some change in a law that prevents the per country quota of 7% for each country. So as we all know, because of the per country cap, India only gets about 2,700 green cards in every single category, that is EB1, EB2 and EB3. And that is the max number that India can get every single year. And there are total 140,000 green cards that were started back in 1990s, and those haven't been increased at all. So India is tremendously backlogged. China is also very backlogged, not as much as India, but they're also backlogged. And now rest of the world is also getting backlogged. Their pain is nowhere near India and China, but they're also getting backlogged. So the only way right now to actually have some forward movement in green cards is passing of some law that prevents the per country cap. And as we know, the Eagle Act of 2022 is one of the bills that has been getting floated in US House and Senate, and that basically is the only hope in this 2022 year before Republican Congress takes over the House. So let's talk about Eagle Act, and I am just gonna go through like very high level on what Eagle Act is going to do, and then what is my opinion on what's going to happen. Again, this is my personal opinion, so don't use it for your decision making. Anyway, so Eagle Act of 2022 is floated by House members, and basically Eagle Act has some conditions in it. The first condition is that they are going to remove the per country cap for the employment based category, that is while allocating those 140,000 green cards, per country cap is not allowed. That means the visas will be first come first serve, and obviously there will be some transitions from the current state, which is 7%, to no country cap. So there are some amendments in the bill that talk about how they are going to transition from one country, like per country cap to no country cap. That way there is no shock to rest of the world. So that's one thing. The second thing is that, as we know, for family based visa, we have 226,000 green cards, and there's also 7% per country cap on that. The bill talks about increasing that cap from 7% now to 15%. So that is a great news for somebody like countries like Mexico, countries like some Latin American countries, some Indian people, but most likely Mexican and Philippines people who have severe backlog in the family-based category, and they are waiting to get together with their loved ones for years and decades. So that's a big thing that is in there in the bill. So in order to do that, in order to get this bill passed, they have also put some conditions on strengthening the hiring on H1B and strengthening the green card approval process. So that is something that goes into the bill. So if the bill gets passed, then the per country quota is gone, and then everybody will get the green cards fairly based on when they had their I-140 approvals and not because of the country that they were born like 20, 30 years ago. So it's a good step in, it's a right step. Ideally, they should also think about increasing the total number of green cards because the economy has expanded like 4 times from 1990 to 2022, but they haven't increased the green cards at all. But again, this is a step in the right direction. So now, in order to get this bill passed, they have to, so the bill needs to get approved in the US House, which is currently controlled by Democrats until January 2022. Then it has to get approved by Senate, which is also going to get which actually has a Democrat control, a 50-50 with one tie vote from Kamala Harris, and then it needs to be signed by President. Now, right now, this bill is getting debated in the House, and hopefully there will be voting on it tomorrow, which is Tuesday. Which is Wednesday morning, House time, so US time. So there will be vote on it. It was supposed to be today, Tuesday, but I think it got delayed because there is a ceremony that happened in the White House about the Respect Marriage Act, and a lot of people wanted to participate on it. So that's why it got delayed. And this, I'm telling you, the source of this is from Immigration Voice. So I just saw their Twitter account, and that is the source of my information. Anyway, I think, if you actually haven't subscribed to Twitter's channel of Immigration Voice, I highly recommend that you do that. I do that personally, and they have been working really hard to get this bill passed through House and Senate. And I don't have any relations with anybody from Immigration Voice, but I think as an Indian and as a Chinese citizen, it's our responsibility to actually support these people financially, and then by actually working on some action items that they post, such as calling US House members, US Senate members to pass the bill. So if you haven't do that, go to Immigration Voice Twitter channel and then subscribe to them, and please do all the action items that they tell you. Advocacy matters a lot in democracy, so please do that. Support them financially because you need like money to get your case fought. So basically you need money and then you need advocacy, so please do that. Anyway, let's say, so in back in 2020, this bill was actually passed in US Congress, and it was the same Congress, almost similar Congress. So there was a debate today, and if you ask me, then the likelihood of passing this bill in Congress, that is US House, are pretty high because there's a lot of support for this bill, both from Democrat and Republican side. Last time I believe it got like 300 plus votes. So there's a good chance that bill will pass through Senate, so with House. Now let's talk about Senate, because that's a whole different game. So in the Senate, this bill first need to be brought on the floor for voting and debate. Last time in 2020, they could not do that because Republican Senate, Mitch McConnell, he did not bring this bill for voting. So Mike Lee, Senator Mike Lee, he had to do, I don't remember what the term called, but now every senator has to like say yes for this bill. So like key Democratic senators such as Dick Durbin, they actually had objections with this bill, which was really strange for me, but it is what it is. So the bill did not get passed and did not become law. Now this year, now we have a Democratic Senate. So we have a Democratic majority leader, and he might bring this bill out for vote. We'll see what happens. If the bill does not get out for vote, then one of the co-sponsors, senators, they have to ask again for this voting, where every senator has to say yes. And I am sure there are some Republican senators and there are some Democratic senators that will object this bill. So that is my thinking. So I think the only way that this bill can get actually passed through Senate is that it up for vote, and then in the Senate, if the voting happens, then it requires 60 votes out of 100 senators to get passed. So again, like a lot of hurdle, but it has much more chance than getting into like a unanimous voting, like unanimous vote where all 100 senators have to agree and say yes. In the past, there have been several tries, and then it did not happen. It did not get passed. The problem is that, let's say if the bill goes for unanimous voting and somebody objects, then there will be some negotiations between the senators. But the problem is that we are already in the December. So we are already at the end of the cycle of House. So the House gets, Republican control in January. So this bill has to get passed in this attempt. There is no time left. So if you ask me, if this bill is going to get passed through Senate, I would say the chance is 5%. Only if we get lucky, then it will get passed. In the House, I'm pretty confident. I'll say 99% it will get passed. But in the Senate, there's very less chance. So people who are hoping for this bill to get passed, let's be mindful that this might not actually happen. So what you and me can do is do advocacy and make sure that the new bills are getting generated and gather support, and your advocacy matters. So keep trying, and we have to keep trying because it's a very important issue for all of Indian and Chinese people, as well as their future, their kids who are going to age out very soon. So it's a very important issue for a lot of people. So let's keep doing advocacy. So this is my view on Eagle Act. Let's see what happens. Tomorrow is House vote. Next few days are very critical before they go out for Christmas break. So let's see. It's a lame duck session with House and Senate replacing in mid-January. So we have like 2.5 weeks before this bill can be signed into law. And then the last thing is the president signing the law. I think if this bill actually goes through the Senate and House hurdles, President will sign this. I'm pretty confident, because that's a really big achievement for President to have some kind of negotiated immigration bill passed. And Joe Biden, I don't know what people think about him, and people have different views, but he has passed a lot of bills since he has got into power. So let's see what happens. Let's hope for the best. Keep doing advocacy, keep calling your senators, keep calling your House members, and make sure that your voice is heard, and that's what you can do from your side. But anyway, that's what I think. Let's hope for the best. I will keep you updated on what happens next. So that's it for today's video. I will be back with different videos very soon. So take care, and thank you, and have a good day. Bye-bye.